Saturday Social is powered by EA Sports FIFA 23 with PlayStation.
Because as you can see, our guests are holding two... Oh, expenses spared, really.
Yeah,
no expense spared.
really
Paddles with true or false, yeah. Luckily they arrived on time, firstly.
Thankfully.
They've got true and false on. We're going to read a series of statements. If the statement is true, hold up the true paddle. If the statement is false, hold up the false side of the paddle. It's very straightforward.
Yeah.
So the first one is as follows. Just as we said in the poll, Haaland will score more goals than Harry Kane in the Premier League this season. True or false? What are you saying?
Oh.
OK, Harry, why?
I think Haaland's first game, 2 goals. I think City's, they won the league without a striker last season. They just create so many chances. And I think with Kane, if he's playing a little bit of a deeper role like how he did last season, he'll probably contribute a lot, but won't score as much as I think Haaland will. So that's why I say Haaland.
Everything you said, plus, Haaland is a robot.
Yeah.
He's not human. He's actually quite literally the second best striker in the world. He's so good. I have a friend who, Reeve, he said Haaland's going to flop this year, and I think he's so incredibly wrong. I think Haaland will finish 30 goals plus.
That's what Rory said on last week's show as well.
I think he's referring to Rory,
Like, what did Rory get? Say 13 league goals?
Delusional.
Yeah,
Crazy man.
That was on our show last week, a flop of the season. So just quickly, while we've still got a bit of time, Golden Boot for you. He wins the Golden Boot, does he? Or was there another
100%.
name? Yeah.
I think if City continue going the way they're going to go, he's going to score 30 goals this season.
And Darwin is going to steal some of Salah's goals.
Do you know what I like about that? Even with the
Darwin's getting 25 goals this season.
Even with the follow-up question about the Golden Boot, they still put the paddle up.
Yeah. I respect it.
Really good use of the prop, lads.
All right, this next one. True or false? If Liverpool don't sign a midfielder, they won't win a trophy.
Ooh.
So they have to sign a midfielder to win a trophy. True or false? Come on, Theo. Let's go. Pair of trues. Yeah. OK, let's start with you this time then, Theo. They have to sign a midfielder.
They really are lacking depth in midfield, and they're not going to win the Prem. They're probably not going to win the FA Cup. Arsenal will do that. they might have a shout at the League Cup, but I think actually Spurs might win the League Cup.
Okay.
And Real Madrid will win the Champions League.
Again?
Yes.
And Thiago's obviously got a hamstring injury now as well. You think they need more midfield depth as well?
Exactly what Theo said. I think with Thiago not being there, with Henderson only being the mainstay there, I just think they need something big time. They've gone with Darwin, they need someone else of that stature, and I think if they don't have it, they ain't winning nothing.
Get De Jong.
Allow me, that's our player. Leave him alone, that's ours.
Yeah, we saw Jurgen Klopp during the week, though, say that he only wants the right players.
Yeah.
So do they panic and get one now, or do they just hold and maybe give those minutes to Harvey Elliott?
No, they need to get someone.
So you think they need to panic?
They're Premier League champion level. They need to have elite depth in the midfield. If you look at City, there's just elite across the board.
Okay. Yeah. Very amicable. Guests are agreeing on a lot.
Very nice.
What a bit of debate with this, don't we? Come on. Next one is true or false. Arsenal will finish above Tottenham in the Premier League this season. We've got a disagreement. Here we go. Okay.
Finally.
Theo, the Arsenal fan. Why true?
To be fair to Spurs, it pains me to say, but they are looking very good. But so are Arsenal. And Arteta, the process, it's being trusted. We are looking, honestly, against Palace, we looked so good. we actually looked, I swear down, we looked so good. This is the year. And look, Spurs, they bottle a lot of things all the time, except last season when they pipped us. But I think this...
Quite a few seasons in a row they have pipped us.
Yeah, but how many trophies? How many trophies? I mean, come on.
Oh, wow.
Was it a decade?
Wow.
Fair enough, go on. You would disagree, Harry?
Spurs, for me, are one of the greatest teams that we've seen. And I'm not just saying that because you're here, Smithy.
What? Since when?
Wait, sorry, in real life?
Let the man speak.
Let me speak.
They are so good, and I believe in them wholeheartedly. And I don't believe in Arsenal.
Great, they're a good team. The
believe in
greatest teams we've seen.
Have you heard of the
That's
Invincibles?
They are. No.
I think they're a good team, but...
No, I'm just trolling. But I think they're a good team, and I think they're much better than Arsenal.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. True or false? If Chelsea sign Aubameyang, he'll score more goals than Jesus.
Ooh.
Obviously, Arsenal let him go. True or false? Let's get the paddles up. Both of you are going for Jesus to score more than Aubameyang. Why, Harry?
I don't think Chelsea's found their rhythm yet. I think Arsenal with Jesus is literally what everyone thought that Arsenal needed. I think he does so much running. He does a lot off the ball as well, as much as chances created and goals scored as well. I think he's the one for Arsenal. I think he'll do better than Aubameyang. I think it looks good on paper, but I don't think it'll be a good move for Aubameyang to come to Chelsea.
I agree. I mean, Jesus obviously blanked first game week, but his pre-season form, he just hit the ground straight away, hit the ground running. And Aubameyang, look, he's 33 now, 32. He's getting on a bit. He did well for Barca when he signed for them, but
he worked for Tuchel before.
Yeah, but I just feel like Chelsea, they're just not where they were before. They're a bit iffy, and I just don't think that would work. I think Jesus will bang it this year.
Do you think Aubameyang will go? We haven't asked you about that.
I think he wants to come to London. I think he loves London. I think most players abroad would want to come to London, Chelsea or Arsenal. But yeah, I don't think he'll do well. And I don't think it's going to happen.
That's going to be such an interesting transfer.
Yeah.
If Chelsea actually sign Aubameyang, see whether he can get back to the levels he
It'll
was
be
at
classic
before.
Arsenal, like one of their best players going to a rival. I know he's one with Barca, but it's just always Arsenal players just go to United or Chelsea. Just
Panicking.
constantly.
Arsenal fans are already nervous.
I tell you what, Arsenal-Chelsea games will be quite
Already
tense,
nervous, yeah.
Should we move it on for Theo's sake
Yeah.
to the next one? Our next topic, again, true or false. We're going to talk about Newcastle as well. Newcastle will finish in the top 6 if they sign Maddison. They've been linked to James Maddison.
Yeah,
of
heavily
course,
linked.
couple of bids for that. True or false, what do you think, lads?
I don't. You know what?
Get
I'll
off the
say.
fence,
Yeah.
Theo.
Whoa,
True,
yeah.
go on.
Oh, you know what? I really do rate Newcastle at the moment with Bruno Guimaraes as well. Like,
Good player.
I rate Maddison so highly. The fact that he's not been in with the England squad, he's got the second most goal contributions recently, or so. I don't
Recently.
know, in the last year or so, behind Harry Kane.
Yeah,
Statman Theo.
I think we're talking about English goal
Yes,
contributions from English
yes.
players last season.
It's exactly what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Statman Theo there.
Yeah, trust me, I know ball. You know what? Why not?
Yeah.
You know they're going to be pushing for the Champions League within 3
Battling
years.
with
Like,
United,
you may as well
potentially.
start now.
Yeah, I don't see it. I think the first 4 teams I'd go with City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham. I think even West Ham. I look at them as Newcastle as a few more seasons and they'll be that team because of the money that they've obviously been invested into the club, but not yet. I don't think one or two signs, even though Maddison is a top-class player, I just don't think he's the answer.
Interesting to see
Could you
Newcastle,
usurp
isn't
United?
it?
They could.
Do you think
they
that?
could.
So hang on a minute.
really
You
think they
think
could.
Newcastle
This season.
will finish above Man
I don't
United
think
this
they
season?
will, but I think there's a very
They could.
realistic chance they could.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's not as far as people would say. Let's go to the next one then. I love this man, Alexander Mitrovic.
Oh,
yes.
I love this man.
What
Yes.
a week he had.
So the true or false is, will he score more than 15 Premier League goals? Will he score more than 15 Premier League goals? Paddles up. 15 is a big number, but
Yeah.
Harry's gone true. Theo's going false. HP, let's come to you then because you're positive.
40 goals in a championship, an amazing performance against Liverpool. He is
Amazing.
a proven goal scorer. He got Serbia into the World Cup. He is that guy. I think for Fulham, it's obviously they're not probably touted to stay in the Premier League, but I think he'll score a lot of goals. 1 or 2 goals every other game. I think he'll definitely hit that 15 goals mark. Easy.
That's a big total, 15.
15 is a lot, and if you look at like previous clubs getting promotion, like their top goal scorer, you look at Tony or whatever, it's always around like the 11, 12, 13 mark.
Yeah.
So I think it will be near 15. I just don't think it will be over 15. Like
Do
he
you
is
think
good.
Fulham need him to hit 15 to stay up?
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. He's the only way they're going to score goals, pretty much, and it'll be close. I just don't think he'll go over 15.
Yeah, that was a huge performance last week, though, wasn't it?
Massive
Against Virgil van
Yeah,
Dijk. You don't
captained him.
see that many players do
Yeah.
that to Virgil van Dijk. There were moments in that game where he just looked awesome. And everything's going to go through him.
And the other thing as well is he's come off the back of such a positive season where confidence is huge for strikers, and he's broken record after record last season in the Championship. I know it's a different league, but that confidence is only going to carry through
Yeah.
the season. So
Love
interesting
him.
to see how he gets on. Next up, true or false? I like this one. It just quite
Bet
simply
you do.
says Tottenham have had the best transfer window, and this is of all Premier League clubs. True or false?
Ooh.
They're thinking long and hard about
There's a
this.
few other very good windows. I'm thinking Man City have had a good
It's
window.
been a
Arsenal have had a very,
good
very
window.
solid window.
Got to push you.
Forest have signed
True for
300
Harry.
players.
False for Theo. Harry, why'd you say true?
I think they've literally strengthened everywhere in the pitch. Like Basuma's for me is a great buy. I think for what they've done in terms of how they finished last season, their intentions are very clear with the signings that they've made.
Yeah.
I think Conte is a great manager, and he's going to have all the players that he signed on top of the players that they already have playing the right football and the Spurs way that like people have been asking for years. So I think for me, they look so strong, and I'm scared to watch them.
Harry's very positive about Tottenham.
Very
this show.
positive.
You disagree, Theo?
You know what? It's actually hard to disagree with what you just said there.
Yeah.
I just look at Arsenal and think they're signing, not just for the now, they're also signing players for the future.
Yeah.
Like, I know Perisic, he's good. You know, he's not quite fit at the moment, but how old is he? Like 32, 33 maybe?
33, yeah.
33. And, you know, how long's he got? A season? Maybe 2 seasons? Whereas Arsenal are building for the future and they're just going to improve exponentially.
They have signed young players as well. Jed Spencer's young. They've got young players in the squad. Papa Mate Sarr.
Yeah, but I just feel like the players
Arsenal
Arsenal
back on loan.
the
They have
pla-
got youth as well. There's a fly in his eye.
I
You think for the
Arsenal
future?
Yeah, for the future, Arsenal. And, Gabriel Jesus is just so good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
good-
a really
good
good debate. I think Man City deserve a little bit of a shout
Yeah.
there as well, because
I
the
do think
players they've offloaded, they made a profit on the players they've signed as well. Like it's, I think that's a scary.
I do think Jesus is a great signing for Arsenal. As
Yeah,
well.
absolutely. Let's go to the next one then, and I think this is a tough one. True or false? Steven Gerrard will finish higher than Frank Lampard.
Ooh.
Now, obviously,
Played today, didn't they?
did not get off to a good start. Opening day loss against Bournemouth. And Aston Villa fans were not happy about that. But then equally, Frank Lampard, just about stayed up with Everton. So what's going on? True?
Yeah.
True. Okay, so you're going Villa to finish
I think
higher.
we spoke about this when Steven Gerrard became the Aston Villa manager. I think he is a great manager. I think obviously the great is to say that you've done it for years or whatever, but I just like the way he manages, and I think he gets so much out of his players, and he didn't really have that much to work with. Frank Lampard, I'm not really convinced of him at Everton yet, and I think it will be tougher this season than it was last season. But for me, I'll just pick Gerrard over Lampard.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone in on Lampard in the past as a manager, but he actually did a good job at Chelsea. And what it comes down to for me is A, I really rate Gerrard as manager, and B, Villa's squad is just better than Everton.
There's huge pressure, though, on Gerrard
There's
this week.
there's such big pressure, and I think he can get away with it a little bit because he's Steven Gerrard. He's got the same record at Villa as Gary Neville had at Valencia, but because he's Steven Gerrard, he can get away with it. But I just think Villa's squad as a whole is better than Everton.
Yeah.
And I just really don't rate Everton.
Yeah, I think that Everton forward line, especially with Dominic Calvert-Lewin injured, sold Richarlison, who was responsible for 35% of the goals. But then equally, Steven Gerrard lost Michael Beale, didn't he? His right-hand man, his go-to man to keep going. I think that is being underplayed a little bit as a major, major issue for them.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. It's about Manchester City. Quite simply, this one says, true or false, Manchester City will win the Champions League this season. The one trophy that's been eluding them for so long. They've come close to it, as we know.
Wow.
But will this be the year? Lads, what are you saying, true or false?
Oh, this is
Get them
This
paddles
is so
active.
tough.
Come on.
but-
Wow, this is the
All right,
toughest one yet,
I'm going
I
to
think.
say false, but I'm going to say why.
Okay,
Go on.
Yeah.
We'll allow both falses.
I'll say this, with that signing of Haaland, I think that is the key that they've been missing for a long time in order for them to win the Champions League. However, as long as Real Madrid are a functioning football club, I don't think any other team will ever be the favourites to win that trophy. They are so good in that competition. And I think if it comes down to the final, I think the same thing will happen again between them two. I think Real Madrid will just find something. But if Real Madrid get knocked out, then it's City's. So I'm going to go that.
Yeah, I agree. You just saw it last year. Real Madrid, in every game they played, they went in and this is their time. They're going to go out now, and they won. Whereas City, they don't have that Champions League history, and I just think that plays too much on their mind. And I think it's messed with Pep's head. Honestly, when the way they set up against Chelsea a couple of years ago in the final, he did something. Pep's a great manager, but when he gets to the Champions League final, something goes doolally in his brain. I'm not sure what happens.
I think Man City are going to win it this year.
Do you?
I would say Man City are
Wow.
going to win it this year.
This
I've
is their
had
best
proof of
chance to win it with
Yeah.
Haaland.
Yeah.
I think Haaland
Stunning
gives them.
team.
There's a lot of games last season. Look at the Champions League, and I think he just gives them that extra dimension
I
in
agree.
a lot of games.
I agree.
So.
Let's do the final one then.
Yeah.
True or false? False?
What?
True
What?
or false? all the promoted
got that,
clubs
madam.
will stay up. All the promoted clubs will stay up. That's Bournemouth, Fulham, and Forest. Not a single one of them would be relegated with this. You're saying false. Who do you think is going down?
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think Bournemouth will go down. I think they've got a history of being kind of yo-yo. I think they will definitely go down. Forest as well is tough. I think there's a lot of pressure for them to actually just continue with the form that they had in the Championship, and I think.
And they've signed so many players.
And I think that usually when that happens, I think we saw it with QPR, signed so many players, and then it's like the expectation for you to win.
Fulham as well, and they got promoted.
Yeah, so I think Premier League history.
But they had to do that, didn't they? They had to sign these players. Didn't
Yeah,
they,
but
squad?
it doesn't always work, and we've seen it over the years. So I would go with them.
Yeah, but I think Bournemouth are definitely going down.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk before the season started that Forest were going to do really well, but I'm not too convinced as of yet. And I think, in terms of Fulham, I think they'll stay up if Mitrovic keeps scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one because if Mitrovic doesn't score those goals, you
It's
do
so
wonder where they
important
come
for them,
from.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's to stay
He's
fit
vital.
as well.
If he gets injured, Fulham are down.
Oh, done.
Wow, simple as that.